During the last couple of years, energy drinks became more and more popular due to effective marketing, especially for the younger generations. And nowadays you can find them in different colors, shapes and tastes. There are many people drinking energy drinks just like water. And the main question of today's video is, are energy drinks harmful and what are the side effects? And before we continue with the video, don't forget to click on the red button down there for more interesting scientific videos. As a biochemist and also as an athlete, the question of side effects is particularly interesting, as energy drinks become more and more of a thing in the sports industry. So, what's actually inside a typical energy drink? Effects and side effects are obviously due to the ingredients. So let's break down what the ingredients are, how they function and what they elicit. Let's start with the most consumed psychoactive drug worldwide, caffeine. The regular energy drink has around, let's say, 30 mg of caffeine per 100 milliliter. That means that one can or 250 milliliter has around 80 mg of caffeine. In comparison, a Coke has around 35 mg of caffeine, while coffee usually has around 130, depending on the type of coffee, while instant coffee, for example, has usually less. And don't forget that we are talking about a small can, while some companies only offer half a liter packages, which obviously doubles the amount of caffeine consumed. Why is this a problem? Caffeine stimulates the central nervous system and with that the heart and muscle contraction. It's an antagonist of the adenosine receptor and basically blocks it, which leads to an increase of the intensity of the neuronal transmission. The daily safe dose for an adult is around 400 mg distributed over the day, while side effects mostly occur when this threshold is exceeded. Side effects are, as you maybe know, sleeplessness, a higher blood pressure and an increased and/or irregular heartbeat. But that's not all. Allergic-like reactions like vomiting, itching, and uncomfortable tightness in the chest and the swelling of different regions of our body can also occur. On top of that, caffeine overconsumption can affect your psyche due to the physiological effects and lead to, for example, anxiety or panic attacks. Many also complain about diarrhea and dizziness, and in extreme cases, caffeine can induce irregular heart palpitations, which in fact often led to death, especially in combination with high-intensity sports. For example, last year, November 2020, a 19-year-old from California drank 2 liters of energy drink, then he went playing basketball with his friends while his heart stopped beating. Diagnosis: cardiac arrhythmia. An increased heartbeat of course heightens the blood flow to the organs, muscles, etc. But in the worst case, this can also lead to irreversible heart damages as well. I experienced this by myself when I was younger 2-3 times, where I thought my heart is literally gonna stop any second. I was doing breakdance, and in breakdance it's like that your heartbeat is resting for 90% of the time. And then if you really actively do something, you are really doing it with a very high intensity. That means that your heartbeat is just kind of exploding, and in combination with energy drinks, this can be really dangerous. Caffeine overdosage is not a thing to play with, so keep that in mind. Taurine. When I was a kid, there was this rumor in school that the taurine in energy drinks comes from bull's testicles. And now I know that this is not completely the case. Taurine was actually found in the gallbladder of bulls. But I guess the story with the testicles sounded a bit better. The amino acid degradation product naturally occurs in our body in actually pretty high amounts, why an overdose with taurine is pretty unlikely. Taurine supports neurological development and also amplifies the effect caffeine has on our central nervous system. And additionally, it plays a role in the regulation of the water-salt household. Importantly and interestingly, there is no scientific evidence that taurine helps your muscles grow or to increase your concentration like many people think. As I said, it's very difficult to have a taurine overdose, so there is no scientific evidence stating that taurine is responsible for any side effect. B vitamins. You can often read on the ingredient list that many different B vitamins are added. But why? B vitamins are linked to many positive effects, such as the generation of blood cells, cell repair, cell catabolism and anabolism, energy production, the increase of testosterone, and the function of the nervous system. If you want to learn more about the most important vitamins for muscle growth and athletic performance, click on the link above. Fact is, if you lack in any of the different B vitamins, you will feel tired and exhausted. But fact is also that B deficiency rarely occurs. Our body needs a certain amount, but everything above that is not utilized and excreted. That's why you will see that the recommended daily intake for B vitamins is exceeded sometimes for up to 2000% from one can. And even if you would be B deficient, you would not experience an immediate energy boost, as the restoration of the energy levels and the incorporation of the B vitamins into the metabolism can take up to several weeks. Too high B vitamin intake can result, depending on the vitamin, in excessive thirst, skin conditions like skin flushing, blurry vision or sensory nerve problems, vomiting, abdominal cramps, and in severe cases, liver toxicity. But I need to add that an overdose is pretty much unlikely, because B vitamins are water soluble. That means that excessive vitamins are excreted through the urine. Ginseng, guarana, and ginkgo. You can usually find one of those 3 herbal extracts in the regular energy drink. Guarana is a Brazilian plant, and its seeds contain around twice the amount of caffeine in comparison to coffee beans. Guarana added to energy drinks already containing caffeine of course boosts the caffeine level to alarming amounts. Ginseng is believed to boost the energy level, reduce stress and cholesterol levels, and also treat diabetes. And especially cognitive improvements has been reported a lot, but clinical studies could until now not verify the medical effectiveness of ginseng, as the results remained insignificant. Common side effects of a ginseng overdose are reported to be headache, diarrhea, and a rapid heartbeat. Ginkgo is a tree native to East Asia, and its leaves are said to improve seeing, memory, and anxiety. Same as with ginseng, there is no clear evidence that it really works, but it in fact improves the blood circulation, which may have an impact on the function of the nervous system. All in all, the 3 herbs are considered safe. But I would not advise you to consume more than 300 to 400 milligrams of the extracts per day, and definitely not on a long term. Sugar and artificial sweeteners. Sugar is one of the biggest problems in energy drinks. One small can usually contains around 35 grams of sugar, which is around 12 sugar cubes. And that's just crazy. I mean, 12 sugar cubes. You would never eat 12 sugar cubes. But drinking them is okay. Remember, the recommended daily intake from the American Heart Association is 36 grams of sugar, which is of course a bit exaggerated, but also reasonable. And we all know the negative effects of too high sugar intake, like obesity, tooth decay, which is maybe the smallest problem, and a higher risk for type 2 diabetes. It gets even worse if high fructose corn syrup is used instead of sugar, as fructose is converted into fat much faster and can, inter alia, lead to the formation of the fatty liver disease and many more. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame are still under investigation and said to be safe, but they are still linked to metabolic disorders and diabetes. And if you want to learn more about the risks of artificial sweeteners, check the link above. Other common ingredients are glucuronolactone, inositol, and the amino acids L-carnitine and L-theanine. But here no study could show any significant side effects associated with these substances or their overdose, and if so, only mild conditions or non-severe ones. As you could see, the high amount of caffeine in combination with the high amount of sugar is the biggest risk factor in energy drinks from a scientific point of view. Whether or not energy drinks are harmful depend on 2 different things. First of all, the person, that means the age, the current health condition and the lifestyle, and secondly, of course, the dosage. Just like with fast food and soft drinks, It's all about the dosage. And if you live a healthy lifestyle, a can of red cow or lobster will definitely not harm you, but if you consume larger amounts of them over a longer period of time, they maybe will. If this video was helpful and informative, support my Science Fitness channel with a like or comment, and subscribe and click on the bell for further videos. Stay healthy and see you next time. Glucuronolactone, glucuronolactone, L-carnitine, carnitine. What? Why do I do this?